Matthew 25. Then the kingdom of heaven shall be likened to 10 virgins who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom. Now 5 of them were wise and 5 were foolish. Those who were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. But while the bridegroom was delayed, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight a cry was heard, Behold, the bridegroom is coming, go out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said to the wise, Give us some of your oil, for our lamps are going out. But the wise answered, saying, No, lest there should not be enough for us and you, but go rather to those who sell and buy for yourselves. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and those who were ready went in with him to the wedding, and the door was shut. Afterward the other virgins came also, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Surely I say to you, I do not know you. Watch therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour in which the Son of Man is coming. There really should be nothing else further that we need to add. Amen? Watch, therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour in which the Son of Man is coming. I want us to look at the story, and I want you to help me. I want the Word to speak to you. All right? Let's look at it just for a minute. When we look at this story, who are the young women? Who are the virgins? Who does the virgins represent? The church. The young women represents the members of the church. Alright? And their whole, listen to me. Karen, you don't care, honey, will you grab that lamp that's sitting out there, where the camping stuff is? I'll need that in a minute. Their whole purpose was to be what? To be what? Ready. Their whole purpose was to be ready. What else was their purpose? The reason they were being called was because they were virgins, because they were pure. Right? Because they were waiting. Right? They were not only just waiting for the thing, thank you, but they were waiting purely. Amen? The Bible does not just talk about us being ready, but partly in being ready is that we're being pure. That we're keeping ourselves for Christ. This is not just a sexual message. This is just anything. That we are not prostituting ourselves out for money. That we're not prostituting ourselves out for fame, for acceptance. That our whole purpose is to maintain pure and ready for the coming of the Lord Jesus. For that to be so, then their whole mindset, their whole agenda has to be for that day. Their mind has to be on that day. Are you with me? If they're not waiting on a something, then they're waiting for nothing. But instead they have an agenda to say, I have to wait for the day when my groom calls me, and when he does, I want to be ready. Therefore I got my lamp, therefore I got oil, and therefore I'm pure. I'm virgin. I've waited for him. In 2 Corinthians chapter 11, it compares us to a virgin. He says, verse 2, For I am jealous for you with a godly jealousy, for I have betrothed you to one husband, that I may present you as a chaste virgin to Christ. And this is, but I fear lest somehow as the serpent deceived Eve by his craftiness, so your minds may be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Christ. He said, all you've got to do is be pure and wait for him. Be anxious for the day. We talked about Paul, how he said, those who love his appearing. In our world, in our culture, we see the morality, we see the go downhill. And Jesus, when you see these things, don't be afraid, but rejoice, for my time is drawing nigh. But you see the church beginning to fret. You say, oh no, the end is coming here. We should be glad. The young women, they had to take their lamps with them where they went. Meaning, everywhere that they went, everything that they did, they had to be ready. Because the bridegroom could show up at any moment. So, there was no Sunday, pick my lamp up, make it look good, come to church and show everybody, I got my lamp, I'm ready. And then Monday morning comes, well, now I got to go to work. I'm going to leave my lamp by my bed. Because now I have to go and do things. I got to work. I got to be this. I got to be that. I got to go get groceries. I got to take care of my kids. I got to do anything and everything. And the lamp just seems to hold me back sometimes. But they all took their lamps. All 10 took their lamps. Right? Half of them, though, took their lamp as an appearance of I'm ready. But they took no extra oil for the delaying of his coming. I was cutting grass this week, and we have this little trimmer at work, and nobody likes it. It's smaller, doesn't have as much power, it's different. All the others are one brand, and then this one is a different brand. Nobody likes it. So I cleaned it. It's like, I'll take it. No one else wants it. Good. That's the way they're not taking it. I'll use it. And I love it. I've realized that I like it better than the others that everyone else likes. The only problem is it has a small gas tank, which makes it lighter, so all day when I'm lugging the thing, my arm's not killing me, but it has a small gas tank. So if I end up having to trim a long period, there is a chance that I will run out of fuel. So we went to this past week, and we went and had to trim and mow this yard, and we were there for almost 2.5 hours. And I knew we mowed for about 1.5 hours, so I knew we got an hour probably of trimming. So I asked him, I got this little gas tank, I'm going to end up on the other side of the yard, and I'm going to run out. So you know what I did? I took me some extra fuel. I picked up a Gatorade bottle. Let me get some water out of this, it might overflow. I don't even know if this will fit in my pocket. I didn't practice. I took an extra bottle. And I stuck it in my back pocket, and I'm walking through the yard, all yard like this, with a bottle hanging out of my pocket, full of gasoline. I know. But my whole reasoning was, man, I don't want to get to the other side and run out of fuel and have to walk all the way back, put fuel in my trimmer, then walk all the way back to the point to where it ran out so that I could finish trimming. I know that Stephen even taught us that he would unroll a whole thing of string and he would put it in his side pocket or back pocket to be ready for if your string ran out or your trimmer ran out of string, that you had something to put in and it doesn't cost you 10 minutes of walking to get it to go back. And I thought how it was an extra hassle. I had to fill up more. I had to put it in my pocket. I had to walk with it. And it was not totally uncomfortable, but it's not exactly how you want to spend your day with a bottle hanging out of your pocket. But it meant they had to be ready. So they had to, if you will, they had to have an extra burden with their lamp. Not only did they have their lamp, but they had to have the extra burden of taking extra oil with them. From the outward appearance, all 10 looked ready. All 10 looked ready. All 10 had their Christian t-shirts on. All 10 had their necklaces, crosses, hanging around their neck, or maybe that's a little too inconvenient, so they just put it around their rear mirror in their truck. I love the cross. I'm a Christian. I have my t-shirt. I go to church on Sunday with my Bible. But all through the week, I don't have extra. I just got the appearance right. So from the outward appearance, everyone looked ready. But here is the difference in the 5 that did not take extra oil. In a sense, they were saying, I'm putting a limit on the bridegroom. Those who took extra said, this might take a lot longer than I'm expecting, so I'm taking extra. Those who didn't say, I'm going to wait for my bridegroom as long as the oil in my lamp will last. If he don't come in 12 hours, I don't know how long their oil lamps would burn or their oil will last. So if it doesn't come in 12 hours, then by the end, okay, I'll just go get some more. But I'm not preparing for that. He'll come in 12 hours. I'm putting a time limit on him. Surely, he won't come in the 20 minutes it takes me to run to the house and get some more oil and come back. They had their appearance ready. They had their appearance great. But their heart was not totally captivated with his coming. Jesus, in Isaiah, he prophesies, and Jesus repeats this prophecy. And he says, with their lips they honor me, but their heart is far from me. Listen, I do not want to get to the end and run out of oil and say, God, I loved you, and my appearance was for you, and everybody thought I was ready. But I had put restraints on how far I would go for you. God has been messing me up. I'm not preaching about it this morning, but God has been messing me up with Judas. Okay? Judas, if you don't know, he was one of the 12 disciples who was lucky enough to walk with Jesus on this earth, to share bread with him, to share a residence with him when they would sleep, when they would rest, shared alone time with him. Judas was lucky enough to do that, but yet at the end, he traded Jesus for silver. And in my eyes, Judas was so close to Jesus, but yet so far from him. And I do not, even if I have to go overboard and have burden of extra oil, I'll do it because I don't want to be so close yet so far away from being close to Jesus. Close enough that I can touch him, but not close enough for him to touch me and change me. Five of them were wise, 5 were foolish. The foolish took their lamps and took their oil with them, but the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. But while the bridegroom was delayed, they all slumbered and slept. While the bridegroom was delayed. See, he will delay. He will not come when you're expecting him to come. That is the whole point of the surprise. Is that he comes when you least expect him to come. And the world says, man, I've been hearing since I was a youth that Jesus is coming soon. So he's delaying, so I am putting my oil to rest. Verse 6. Go back to verse 6 if you can. That's 10. Go back to verse 6. I know you probably can't see it that well back there. And at midnight, a cry was heard. What time was it? At the end of the day. They waited all day, and at midnight, while they're sleeping, while they're slumbering, when the day is at its end, at midnight. But midnight is not exactly the proper time for a wedding. How many of you get wedding invitations? How many of them say, starts at midnight? No, they usually start at 3 or 1 or something so that they can eat or so they can wed, have their little ceremony, and then they can eat, and then they can party. Dance. So we won't leave enough time for that. So we're not starting at midnight, but the bridegroom was coming at midnight. The least expected time. A cry was heard. Behold, the bridegroom is coming. Go out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps, and the foolish said to the wise, give us some of your oil, for our lamps are going out. I love how the parable calls these women foolish. Now, let me explain why I love it, because my flesh doesn't love it. Alright? Let's look at the differences between the two. Wise virgins were virgins. They were pure. The 5 foolish virgins were what? Also virgins. They were also pure. The 5 wise took their lamps with them wherever they went. The 5 foolish also took their lamps with them wherever they went. The 5 wise took extra oil, took an extra burden. The 5 foolish took no extra. Out of the 3 categories, they were very similar, save one. And we'll say, yeah, I'm a good person. I've kept myself. But were you ready? That no matter when he came, if it took way longer than you expected, if he delayed answering your prayers more than you expected, if your life didn't turn out like you think it turned out, if you're not as successful as you thought you should be, if you're not where you think you should be in your life, are those limits you put on God? Say, God, you said that I would be this, you said I would be that, you said I would be this. The difference between the wise and the foolish was taking some extra oil. At midnight. It's coming back when we aren't expecting it. After we've waited to the end. I remember when I was a young person. I don't know how old I was. Maybe 10, 12 years old. And this is way back when TVs, before we had DVRs, before you could just find the next time it was going to play the show. Do you remember when they had TV guides that you actually had to look through and try to find? And some you had to pay for that, so sometimes you didn't have the TV guide, so just watching TV was just random, right? I just flipped to the channel until I find something. And then you only had 13 or 30 channels anyway, so you could just keep doing that all the time. But I can remember as a young person, me and my brother had watched the show. It was called Disorganized Crime, and it was kind of a funny action movie, crime movie, but it was funny. And I loved that show. And I haven't seen it or heard of it in years, so you probably haven't heard of it or seen it. But I loved it when I was 10, 12, something like that. And I can remember one night, I remember seeing that they played a little preview. Said, Disorganized Crime is going to be on tonight at 12:30 in the morning, whenever, early. I don't remember exactly what time, 1 o'clock. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to stay up and I'm going to record that so I can watch it whenever I want. And I'm going to record it, and then I'm going to pause all the commercials so that I don't have to mess with all the commercials, because you have to deal with that too. And I was going to do all that. I had it all planned out. And I can remember waiting, watching TV, waiting, and then falling asleep. And then waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning, missed my show. I can also remember similar instances where I would do that, and I would wait, I would make sure I'm up, I would whatever, and I would wait, and I would catch it, and I'm like, okay, I'm watching this movie, and I'm watching this movie, and I'm watching this movie, and then when a commercial would come around, I would pause it, and then I would accidentally fall asleep in the commercial, and then I would wake up again an hour later, like, dang, I'm messing up my movie. Because it came at the least opportune time, and I wasn't ready. I was too tired. I was too tired to hold on. The foolish said to the wise, "Give us some of your oil, for our lamps are going out." But the wise answered, saying, "No, lest there should not be enough for us and you, but go rather to those who sell and buy for yourselves." And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came. Now see, at midnight, a cry was heard. That was the warning, saying, Jesus is coming soon. Your husband is coming soon. So now they're waiting, and they know that he could be walking through the door at any moment, but he's not there yet. And they said, "Well, we're running short on oil. Can you give us some?" And they said, "No, you go get your own. We burden ourselves with the extra. I'm not giving up what I've waited for. It means too much to me." So they go to buy oil. And verse 10 says, while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and those who were ready went in with him to the wedding, and the door was shut. Isn't that a shame for the foolish virgins? Don't we have pity for them? It's like, man, they were pure, they were waiting, they had their lamps, they had their appearance right, and just because they ran out of oil, they didn't have quite enough. They had to go buy, and then while they were gone, he came, and then they went in the way and they shut the door. All that they sacrificed, but because they missed out the last second, they don't get it. That's hard, it's rough, isn't it? We have to deal with that. If I were to tell you, you lived your life as a Christian for 25 years, and you've been waiting, and you've been held up your appearance, and you've been pure, and then at the last moment you said, "I'm just tired of waiting, I'm not ready for this extra burden," and then Jesus comes, and you said, "But I've lived my whole life for you, Christ, and now you come." Jesus said, "But you weren't ready when I came. I've given you the warnings in the Word. I told you I'll delay. I told you I'll come whenever I want. And I told you to be watchful and to be ready, for you don't know when I'm coming. And if you can't be ready in the last moment, you weren't ready in the first moment." See, in this instance, the oil was it's not a representation of the Spirit. Sometimes the oil was Spirit, but you can't go by the Holy Spirit. The oil is just maintaining yourself, keeping yourself burning, paying the price for keeping yourself burning. Paying the price to be ready, that even if it's longer than you want, you're paying the price for it. You're packing extra burden. I'm not saying be miserable as a Christian. I'm saying you have counted the cost and you said, "Jesus, it doesn't matter how long I have to wait. I'm paying the price for it." He goes on to say, verse 11, "Afterward the other virgins came also, saying, 'Lord, Lord, open to us.' But he answered and said, 'Surely I say to you, I do not know you.'" So many people give themselves, they give solace to themselves in believing that they can work out their matters with Christ later. Alright? You've heard it, you probably even said it when you were younger. "I'm going to live my life for a while. I'm going to sow my wild oats, and then as I get older, as I mature, then I'll settle down, I'll live my life for Christ. I'm sure that's exactly what Jesus wants. Your leftovers. But that's exactly what He will take. Even if you've spent all of your life living apart from Him, if you'll come to Him before He comes, you'll be ready. But many people solace themselves in saying, I will work out these matters later. I'll get oil later. I'll be on fire for Him later. Right now I'm married. It's our time. Right now I have a kid. I don't have time for Jesus. Right now I have this. Right now I have this going on. Right now I'm working on my career. Jesus will bless me with my career. Then I'll serve Him. Then I'll give my whole life for Him. But the Lord, the bridegroom, answers in this way. They come and say, Lord, Lord, open to us. But He answered and said, assuredly I say to you what? I do not know you. He does not say, I don't know you, but I'll give you a chance. He doesn't say, I'd like to get to know you. He says, I do not know you. Basically saying, you missed your chance. There is not another. How many know that there will be a day when it will be too late to repent? It's not exactly like what we like to think, because we talk about God and so how He's so much love and how He's so much mercy that He'll give you opportunity. That maybe if you get in a car wreck, He'll give you a moment right before you take your last breath that you'll have an opportunity to surrender your life to Him. But here in the parable, Jesus says, you're going to come and it's going to be too late. And I'm going to say, I did not know you. Watch. Look here. In Luke chapter 13, listen to this. You can write it down if you want to look at it later. But Luke 13, that way you know I'm not lying to you. Verses 24 through 27. Strive to enter through the narrow gate. For many, I say to you, will seek to enter and will not be able. When once the master of the house has risen up and shut the door, and you begin to stand outside and knock at the door, saying, Lord, Lord, open for us, He will answer and say to you, I do not know you, where you are from. Then you will begin to say, we ate and drank in your presence. You talked in our streets. But He will say, I tell you, I do not know you, where you are from. Depart from me, all you workers of iniquity. We have such a misconstrued view of how God is. You can talk to people outside the church, and 9 out of 10 of them will say, I went to church when I was a kid. I got baptized. But yet they live their life totally apart from Him, not being ready. See, a good start does not mean you'll be at the finish line. A bad start can hinder you, but it doesn't mean you're out. But a good start doesn't mean you'll finish. When Jesus gives the parable of the sower, He says this. He who received the seed on stony places, this is he who hears the word and immediately receives it with joy. Ain't that what we want in a church service? You want someone for the emotion to overwhelm them, and you want them to be like, yes, I got it. And then a week later, when it gets hot, they're like, nah, I give up. A good start doesn't mean you'll finish. He said, while he has no root in himself, but endures only for a while. For when tribulation or persecution arises because of the word, immediately he stumbles. Also, he who receives seed among the thorns is he who hears the word, and the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becomes unfruitful. Verse 13. Watch, therefore, for you know neither the day nor the hour in which the Son of Man is coming. I love how he tells us the day or the hour. The day is more broad, right? You get up in the morning, you can prepare for the day. But then throughout that day, you can have many failures, many weaknesses, many lapses. Now, I'm not telling you that a mistake in your walk with Christ, that Christ is going to come and He's going to kick you out and say, no, sorry, you looked at that woman lustfully, you're out. But I mean a heart that is not preparing, that is not ready. He says, you don't know the day or even the hour, the more precise time of when I come. Therefore, you got to be watchful. You got to be ready in all things. Almost done. Let me show you this. I'm not going to even give you the second parable this morning. The first parable I think is enough. Listen, sometimes we get so wrapped up in this life, we make it as comfortable as we want. Like I said, we get our wife, we get our husband, we get our children, we get our career. We get everything going exactly how we need it to go on this earth to be comfortable. Therefore, we're not even looking for the day of His coming. We're so comfortable here, we don't need Him to come yet. Jesus, just whenever you want. You come whenever you want. I got a pretty good thing going here on earth. So I'm not in any hurry. We like to set up our own little fake paradise here. You know someone else who did that? Remember the story of Moses when he's up on the mount? And while he's up on the mountain with God, Aaron is over the people. What did Aaron do? Remember? Anyone with me? Huh? Made an idol. Alright? Listen to me, everybody. Moses was up on the mountain experiencing the real, true, living, powerful God. Aaron and all the people were tired of waiting. Couldn't experience that. So they said, we'll just set up our own fake God here. We'll just set up our own little fake heaven down here. We can't get the real God because He's up there with Moses. So let's make our own false God. And we'll take everybody's gold and we'll melt it and we'll form our own God. You know, that's what we do. We like to worship what we can create, what we can form out of our own life. And He set up a fake heaven down on the bottom. They said, we don't want the trouble of having to climb the mountain. It's too hard. Moses has a completely different standard than we do. We like to enjoy our lives. So let's just make our own God. We'll make our own little heaven here on earth. When I preach this to you, I don't preach this to you to make you miserable. I don't preach this to you so that you go, man, he said I can't have any fun. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that you can't have a job, a wife, a husband, and kids, and a career. I'm saying, but where do they rank? All right? Have you made everything so comfortable for yourself that you just rely on yourself and you're not even anxious, you're not even anticipating the day of Christ's return? You probably don't even think about it one time through the week. That's hashtag real talk, right? You with me? How many of you, you don't have to raise your hand, but how many of you think about what you'll be doing when Christ comes back, if you'll be ready? Do you anticipate it? Do you look forward to it?